Welcome to the Green Zone Podcast, the show that teaches oil and gas executives how to take command of their finances and live in the green. Your host, Jeff Green, from Green Financial Group, will be your financial guide, all while giving you a tour of the most beloved and best-kept secret spots around Houston, Texas. Now, on to the show.
Welcome back to the Green Zone's Team Spotlight and another deep dive into the people behind Green Financial. Melanie Knight is our person of the podcast. Melanie is with your hosts, Jeff Green and Lauren Smith, who want you to know what an asset she is.
You know, Lauren's not in this room with me right now, but like my favorite person in the office is, and
hey.
Wait, is Lauren's not on this issue? She can't hear, can she? Never mind. Anyway, Melanie Knight. I love Melanie. What's going on, Melanie?
Nothing much. Happy to be here.
More happy to have you. It is your first podcast, but you listen to them all, don't you?
Yes, of course.
What did we do last week? Okay. Well, if Melanie listened to the podcast, we'd have one listener. Yeah, crickets. Nobody thought that was funny.
Uh-oh.
So we're continuing on with our team spotlight. We have Melanie Knight here. Melanie, fresh out of college, well, a couple of years.
It feels fresh out of college still.
Yeah.
Just because I graduated during COVID, no harsh cutoff, no graduation. So
that's awful.
Didn't you guys go back a year later? Didn't you go back a year later and did graduation?
Yes, we went in this past fall. We had our own graduation.
Was it like kind of anticlimactic? I mean,
totally, but it was fine.
You had already been working for a year, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. It was exactly a year. And then I left to go to graduation.
Yeah. Been working here. Right.
Yep.
So we're so happy to have Melanie. Melanie brings like a little bundle of energy to our office and we're happy to have her. Tell the folks a little bit about what you do here.
Okay. I'm mainly in focus on client-based, just keeping everything organized, communicating with clients, handling any need, maintaining their accounts, just overseeing everything that goes on in the office.
So a lot of client service.
Yes.
Yeah. And clients would probably rather talk to you than talk to me, wouldn't they?
Definitely. Always. They're always calling me.
I know. I like talking to Melanie more than you.
Oh gosh. What is this? Stop it. So I'm going to tell you a little story, and just to tell the people, Melanie knows this story all too well. But when Melanie came, she was a referral from a friend, and said, "Hey, this guy, a buddy of mine, you gotta talk to this girl. You need to hire her. She's really good. Her sister worked for him." And I said, "Okay, I'll come in." So she comes in, fresh out of college. I'm not sure if you'd worked a day in your life. I didn't know you had a little job here and there, right? But
internships. Nothing this serious.
Nothing big. And normally I'm like really nice in my interviews, and I talk for a long time. And Melanie came in, probably the nicest person I've been in front of in an interview. She's really sweet and really nice, handled herself very well. And I said something like, "Why should I hire you? You're out of college and you're gonna better deal me in 6 months when you find a better job." Because this was when COVID, right? Because no one had a job in COVID. So I just assumed you were just grasping for straws, trying to find a job.
Yeah. And you grilled her in that interview.
I did. I grilled her.
In most interviews, you can kind of see in the beginning of the interview whether the person's going to work out. And I realized this person might not be the best fit, but you just continue on and you are nice as can be and keep asking them questions and you let the interview go on for another 30 minutes and you want to learn more about them. And I'm sitting there the whole time thinking, this person's not qualified, not a good fit, but you give them all of your attention. And then Melanie comes in and she's sweet as can be. She, graduated from college, very intelligent, and you're just grilling her unlike anything I've ever seen before.
No, I was so bad. I had to call her that night and apologize. And I said, "We come back in. Can we do this again tomorrow?" And you came back in.
Yeah.
And I mean, what did you think during all that?
Well, I didn't know any better. It was my first actual job interview. So I was like, man, that went really well. And then I didn't realize until you called me that wasn't.
Really? That's so funny. Well, Melanie is awesome here. She's a rock star. We love having her. She's got a couple outside interests though. Do some stuff outside of Green Financial.
I like cooking.
I
like cooking almost every night. If I have time to go to the grocery store, I do.
What do you like to cook?
Anything healthy. I don't like to bake. Baking is too difficult.
Do
I don't like to follow instructions. And baking.
God, we know that.
Yeah. And baking, you have to follow instructions. So I like cooking a lot just because you have the freedom.
So you don't use like recipe books or anything like that?
I can glance at a recipe,
So you'll
but
look
I don't
at it.
rely on recipes.
Okay. So you just put the Melanie twist in.
Yes,
I like
exactly.
that. Why don't you bring us lunch? I don't
I
understand
know.
this.
I need to.
Golly,
I
we're
want you to
missing
start
out,
meal
Lauren.
prepping for me.
I know.
I know we need to get that going. But you have another little hobby that I love.
What?
Mel's Margs.
Oh, yeah.
So tell us about so Melanie has you're like an Instagram famous influencer,
Like an
right?
influencer.
What's
Yeah.
your Instagram page?
Mel's Margs.
Mel's Margs. You got to follow Mel's
Yeah.
Margs. They're awesome. You have like the best margaritas,
Yeah.
right? So you not only do you go and drink margaritas, right? Like every other night, right?
Yep.
You make them too.
Definitely.
So
Yeah.
where's your favorite place around town to get a margarita?
El Patio on Westheimer.
Is it like the blue ones, the Club No Minor?
Yes, people like the blue ones, but I like just a regular frozen margarita.
So if I walk into Club No Minor, El Patio there on Westheimer, right? And I want a margarita, how do I order a margarita there?
Skinny margarita, frozen with tahini.
Skinny margarita, frozen with tahini. And
Yeah.
I just take
Sounds
the house
really
tequila.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's in the machine. It's so good. But skinny is important because no sugar.
Yeah. And
So-
by the way, this is radio, so you can't really see Melanie, but she's like a rail. She's like, I keep telling her you're gonna eat a sandwich or something. You're too skinny. So skinny margarita frozen
Yeah.
with tahini.
Yep. That's my
Lauren,
favorite.
should we go there for lunch today and try that out?
I think we've got a lot
No,
of
we don't
meetings this
drink on
week,
the
but
job.
maybe we'll
Stop.
reward ourselves.
Melanie was
on
all in.
Friday.
She was about, yeah, let's go. What time is lunch? Let's go. Okay, so that's your favorite one around town.
Yeah.
Now, if you make margarita,
Mm-hmm.
give us what do you like to make? What kind of margarita do you like to make?
Skinny margaritas on the rocks, no sugar. Defined dish. She's a chef
Yeah.
on Instagram.
Yeah, I got a cookbook.
Yeah. I love her recipe. It's so good and it's easy and makes a lot of them.
So
it's fun.
give us a quick ingredient. Like how do you do it? What makes a margarita skinny anyway?
No sugar. So instead of like simple syrup, you would maybe use like agave and something more natural. And,
So agave is a lot less fattening.
Sure.
Oh, sugar.
I don't technically know, but you can feel if it's sugary. I like something more lime and bitter than
Ones that are sugary just leave a bad taste in your mouth sometimes.
yeah.
Yeah, and that sugar gets y'all, loopy later, right?
Yeah.
Like you get a
You
headache.
don't feel good.
Yeah, you don't
next
feel
day.
good. Yeah. So if you want to drink some margaritas,
That's the
like make them
key.
skinny, right? That's the
Yeah.
key.
Yep.
That's the key to no hangover, Lauren.
Margarita, Melanie, that you've had outside of Houston, just in the world, that you can say, this one time I was in San Francisco, I had the best margarita of my life? Or do they all, I know you have a lot, do they all kind of run together?
No, every margarita tastes different to me. I've had one in LA at this place called Gracias Madre, and I have never found one that tastes like it's the best margarita.
Real? Is it
Yeah.
like a flavor? Was it like a flavor?
Just a simple, plain, but they do everything in house. Instead of Cointreau, they use orange bitters, but then they make their orange bitters
Oh,
in
interesting.
house.
What's
So,
it called?
This podcast into a
Gracias
margarita.
Madre.
Gracias Madre in
Yeah.
LA. All of our LA listeners
Yeah.
and the Gracias Madre. What are you saying, Lauren?
I said, we should turn this podcast into a margarita.
We should be having a margarita right now.
We should. Maybe next time.
I don't know
A
who's
little
running
early.
this place.
9:30 in the morning.
Better job.
Might be a little too
So,
early.
what did you study in college? What was your major?
Corporate communications.
Corporate communications.
Yes.
And I will say you're a very good communicator
Good.
most of the
Yeah.
time.
4 years. Worth it.
Melanie came in my office. I said, hey, text me in the morning, like, hey, I need to talk to you this morning. Got to talk to you like before it gets real busy. So I said, sure. So, she comes in and won't allude what the conversation was about, but about work, whatever. And she did very, very good. I thought she was gonna be like nervous coming in here and talking to me, but I go, because at the end of it, like everything's fine. And she just kind of cleared up a few things. And I go, well, hey, how nervous were you coming in and like talking to me? She says, not at all. You're easy to talk to. So-
Yeah,
but
that's
it's
I'm
not-
lucky.
It's not that I'm easy. I think it's that you're a good communicator.
No, I think
I
you
think
you
you're a good
make the office
communicator.
a comfortable environment.
Oh,
So,
good. We have good
makes
corporate
it-
culture.
Yes, it makes
That's
it
important.
easy to come to you if I need advice or help or if I have questions.
Good. Lauren just yells at me all the time. So
I know I need to take the communications classes you took, because when I need to have a serious talk with Jeff, sometimes I pace around my office and have the conversation first with myself.
I don't understand that. What else, Melanie? What else, Lauren? What else do we need to know about Melanie?
Well, I think it's kind of interesting that you are one of 3 girls. So you're the youngest, right?
Yeah.
And you have there's some kind of exciting family news coming up. What is it, a couple weeks from now?
Yeah, she's due on March 13th.
Oh,
We don't know if it's a
the
boy or a
first-
girl. We're excited.
Aunt Mel.
First baby.
Aunt Mel.
I think that's awesome.
I know. First grandchildren or
Yeah.
grandchild. We're excited.
That's awesome. So you want a career and a lifetime job at Green Financial Group, right?
Sure.
We don't want to lose Melanie. We love her. So glad you could join us today, Melanie, and make our podcast that much better.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
Anytime. Patrice,
Jeff,
let's wrap it.
Well, tell me how listeners can reach Melanie.
Oh, well, they can call the office at 713-244-3030, or they can email her, right?
Mhm.
Melanie at greenfinancialgrp.com. Go to our website, www.greenfinancialgrp.com as well. Click
Even
on
if
her,
you
check
don't
out her.
want to talk, even if you don't want to talk to me or Jeff, call the office and talk to Melanie.
Much better to talk to Melanie than any of us, that's for
Yes.
sure.
Melanie, your mailbox is going to be blowing up. Look out.
Oh, can't wait.
All right, don't miss any of Jeff Green and Lauren Smith's podcasts. All you have to do is follow the Green Zone and share with friends and family.
Thank you for listening to the Green Zone podcast. Click the subscribe button below to be notified when new episodes become available. The information covered and posted represents the views and opinions of the guest and does not necessarily represent the views and opinions of Green Financial Group. The content has been made available for informational and educational purposes only. The content is not intended to be a substitute for professional investing advice. Always seek the advice of your financial advisor or other qualified financial service provider with any questions you may have regarding your investment planning. Securities offered through Raymond James Financial Services, Inc., member FINRA SIPC. Investment advisory services offered through Raymond James Financial Services Advisors, Inc. Green Financial Group is not a registered broker-dealer and is independent of Raymond James Financial Services. Jeff Green is the founder of Green Financial Group and is a registered principal of RJFS. The Green Financial Group is located at 6363 Woodway Drive, Suite 625, Houston, Texas 77057, and can be reached at 713-244-3030. Raymond James is not affiliated with and does not endorse the opinions or services of his guests.